Okay, everyone. So exciting show today. So we'll give everyone a couple minutes to sign on while we talk about the legalities. As always, past performance is no indicator of future performance. We are not registered investment advisors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Anything on this show is not an offer to buy or sell any security. Always consult a professional and read the disclaimer. As we always say day in and day out, it's a good habit to get into to read the disclaimer. It's part of being a very, very good wealth builder. We call them wealth builders. We don't call them traders or investors because that's what it's all about, right? Building wealth. So you guys make sure you read the disclaimer. All right. Savar, good job on shop. I think you were up, what, $7 on that bad boy, huh? Lucky we didn't sell the covered calls. Huh? Would have lost the stock. But good job, Savar. Congratulations to you. And we also did well with the with our options plays. So, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. But since you're the first one here, Savar, just wanted to say good job on shop. And really, that was a smart thing to do, brother, because, you know, what you did was you kind of lightened up, right? Because the earnings report, you never really know how these earning reports are going to go, right? Especially nowadays. And a bad earnings report can just crush a stock, almost make or break. So I personally really felt like you did the smartest thing possible. You lightened up and took some of that profits and you carried a little bit and you ended up making both ways. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh yeah. Well, you got out at a big profit too. So we'll talk about that though, Savar. Save that one for when everybody's on. I just wanted to personally congratulate you on shop because that was a good call, brother. That's a good call. And the way you handled it was good. Very good. I probably would have done the same thing. You already had a big profit in it. Why not take some profit off? Kind of sit through the earnings report and hey, and you got another $7 more, right? On 50 shares, that's a nice little profit. So look, we've given everybody enough chance there to get on. So let's go ahead and start the show. Like always, read the disclaimer. We just went over that. Really, oh, you were up like $7 on it. But let's go ahead and get the show started. We had a great day. Besides some of our members who have other plays doing good with like shop. Congratulations, Savar. On your, it's up $7. I know you didn't look at it today, but you know, as the trade team, we look at everything. But as a service, we had a great day today, right? We've been talking about that QQQ trade we opened up on Monday. We talked, you know, we let all you guys know about it. We always let you guys know what we're trading too, in case you're looking for some ideas. And, you know, we were started off real well, right? We had those nice earnings and stuff. Then we had that Trump statement about doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on tariffs. And it just tore the market up, right? And then who comes along? The most unexpected savior of the market. It was Elon Musk, right? In his earnings report. And there was just momentum. But it's like Savar was talking about this morning, how that trade went upside down. I mean, we started that trade off and it started to move. And then that Trump statement came out. So we never got the gap and the push the next morning. But we're experienced traders and we've been through everything in this market and we had the contingency plan and we followed it. And guess what? Where the Tesla earnings come out this morning, it was really hairy. A lot of people made big mistakes this morning. We talk about it all the time, the emotional trade. Every time Trump says something about trade, it's like all these noobs and bad traders just jump on it. We watched StockTwits last night, the message board, one of the most popular message boards on the internet. And the minute that statement came out, all of a sudden, wow, you're going short. This is the end of the market. The bull market's over and stuff. Look, all we did was we sat tight and we let that play out. And what happened at about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, that market started making a move and it just followed through. And we ended up getting 25% on those Q trades. Now, those things were down 70%. A rookie that doesn't know how to read a chart, a rookie that doesn't know how to read the tea leaves would have cashed that out and lost the money. We knew what we were doing. So congratulations, and especially congratulations to all the members of the Stock Pick Profits membership. You know, you guys, most of you have never traded an option before, and you really handled this like champs. When we talked about being patient, when we talked about not getting emotional and pulling the trigger falsely, You guys stood your ground, and you guys were like you've been trading right out of the womb. So congratulations to all our members. And like always, if you guys want to be and experience what our members are experiencing, there's the link for you. Let's move on here. So look, we talked about it yesterday, right? We talked about we opened 2 new trades up, and the first one was we went short AT&T. Remember we said yesterday we opened the trades, but we wanted to make sure all our members are in it before we tell you publicly what we're trading. So we went short AT&T, and the reason we went short AT&T, just so you understand a little context of the trade for you guys following along and trying to learn. Rising interest rates are bad for telecom, and T is kind of a company right now that's not in prime shape. It's not in its best shape, and there's some things going to work against it. So we went out a little bit on some contracts just outside the money, and we bought some puts. So if you guys want to play around, play with us. If you want to know exactly what the play was, we'll let you know exactly what we're playing tomorrow, because we want to make sure that all our members are into it. The other play that we went yesterday, we were talking about, is we went long Twitter. Isn't that funny? We spent the whole show talking about how Twitter was the scourge of the internet and how we thought it was going the way of MySpace. And then what we do, we went long on it. Look, we're opportunists, okay? Twitter's not going away today. It's not going away next week. It's not going away next year. But it is going to go away. We'll talk about that a little bit more, because we also made a prediction on the show about the trade wars. But so we went along Twitter, and that one we're already up on. We're up about, I think, 25% on that trade. And, with a nice, strong market today, we got a little bit of economic numbers tomorrow. Hopefully some semblance, some settle down comes into it, and a little bit of fear of missing out, right, by those who missed the run today. And we get a nice little pop. Maybe Marco, you're not a rookie. Maybe we get an even better push, and we'll be talking about another winner tomorrow. So as far as the service that you guys are following along, that's what we did. We went short on AT&T. We went long on Twitter. Like we said, tomorrow we'll let you know exactly what we did with them as far as contracts and expirations and stuff, because we always want to make sure our members get in first. They are the chosen ones. And again, any of you Stock Pick Profit members that are on the show today, good job. You can make jokes, Marco, about being a rookie, but you traded like a champ the last 3 days. Like you came out of the womb trading. You guys were patient. You guys were very, very like sponges. Everything the team talked to you about what was happening and why we weren't selling and why we weren't giving up. You guys followed along, and you guys are ready, and we made some money, Let's talk about the market a little bit, right? So we had a good day in the market. The Dow was down about 7 points, but it was just getting crushed at the open. So that was a nice pushback. The S&P was down, 15, 16 points at the open, and it turned around and it was up almost 14, almost 0.5%. So that's a good 30, 35 point turnaround. Even on the Dow, that was over 100-point turnaround. But the big one was the NASDAQ. NASDAQ just came rip-roaring out. Tesla. We're going to talk about Tesla in a couple minutes, but Tesla really, really did the market right. Tesla ended up about $40 up, man. Congratulations, Elon Musk. So that was the way the market went. And that indicator, the VIX, all the way at the end there, you see it. It's at a little over $12. As long as that's under 13, man, this market is in no danger. So, and even when that sell-off this morning, you saw the VIX didn't really react that much. It wouldn't even have made a good trade. So let's talk about Apple. How about Apple? Apple hit $1 trillion. First company ever on the U.S. stock market to make $1 trillion in valuation. Personally, I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. A $1 billion company is one thing. $1 trillion company, oh my goodness, that's more than the GDP of continents, much less nations. So it's all good. So and that's a very, very important point to us. And if you're looking for insight from us, and this is the way we see this, is we've always talked about it, and we talked about it in these first 2 weeks of the earnings season, right? We talked about how Google's earnings are ultra important. Netflix's earnings, not important. Facebook's earnings, very important, are okay important, not really important. Amazon's earnings, very important. And of course, we feel that the biggest earnings and the most important earnings that you see in earnings season is Apple. Apple's a wide-ranging company. It's got a lot of footprint in the United States. It's got a lot of footprint in China. It's got a lot of footprint in Europe. And yes, PetroChina did back in 2007 in the Chinese market, and then it bombed after that. We can talk about that in a second, but that's a good point, Marco. But we feel like Apple really is indicative of a lot of it was right before we'll talk about that. But Apple their significance is so important because 1, they produce a product, 2, they produce technologies, and 3, they're really an indicator of the consumer, right? What is the one thing everybody needs to have? You have to have a smartphone. It's just so important in today's world, right? It's more important than having a rotary phone when I was a kid, right? Everybody had to have a phone, right? And the indicator, if they're selling iPhones and if they're growing their business, and you look at Apple, they've got music streaming, they've got all kinds of business. They got into the driverless cars. They're supposed to be their secret plant and stuff. We think Apple is the indicator. And so we thought it was a big thing that they hit their earnings. Netflix to us is very insignificant. Okay. It's streaming, and it's a dying streaming service. It's actually taking the place of cable TV. The shows on it are lousy. The original content is just gone down. One of the big things that's really going to hurt Netflix that a lot of people aren't talking about is the loss of House of Cards. Really, in our trade room, 7 traders and myself, the only reason any of us had Netflix was for House of Cards. So that's going to be interesting how it hits Netflix going down the line. Is it a short? We'll take a look at it. Let's move on. So look, let's talk about Elon Musk. So the first thing he did on his conference call yesterday was he apologized. He was pretty rude on the last conference call, and he actually went after an analyst, which is a no-no. Okay, the analyst is just asking questions. He's just trying to get information. Elon didn't like it. They got under the very sore open wound for Elon Musk, which is the short sellers. And he was also having a direct verbal battle with short sellers, and it got pretty ugly, and it was an ugly conference call, and the market held it against him. But he came into this conference call, and the first thing he did was apologize, right? And he apologized, but we want to tell you, you think that was a bad conference call from Elon Musk. Let me share a link with you guys here. This is the CEO of Miracle-Gro. Scott's Miracle-Gro, of course, is a publicly traded company, and they are, of course, moving into the marijuana industry. And it's not panning out the way they wanted. So I'm going to put that link down there for you. Go listen to this guy on his conference call. He was using swear words and everything. Wonder if how that'll work out. But if you guys want to do some fun stuff, man, go take a look at that link, man. It's pretty interesting. It's the CEO of Scott's Miracle-Gro, and they put this investment into marijuana, and they're not getting the return on it because, the regulation changes and stuff like that. The banking abilities are just not happening fast enough. He probably was one of those people who thought it would happen quick. The wheels of the government don't turn that quick. Even for us, we're in a marijuana play, and we keep talking about it, and it's just be patient. We put it in our back pocket, and we're going to just wait for it to explode. It will, but it's not going to be today. The government needs to come through with some stuff, and they take their time. But that apology by Elon Musk ended up being the most profitable apology in history. His stock was up about $40 today. $300 stock up $40. So all you Tesla believers, man, congratulations. Good job. That's the way to do it. And that's kind of like that QQQ trade, right, gang? Our members will tell you that QQQ trade, right? If you believe something and you're right, you stick to your guns, right? Let's see what else we've got here online. So look, let's use all these crazy conference calls as our quote of the day, okay? So, and it's been a good day, so we're in a really jovial mood today. You guys, hope you're having a great day too. football starts in about 3-4 hours, right? Wonderful. That's our big time. But let's talk a little bit about forgiveness and apologies. So, everybody makes mistakes. The New York Times today, there's an article out. They hired this young girl, something Jung. And I guess in the past, she's had some tweets that were kind of questionable about racism. And, she's kind of saying it's in reaction to people racially attacking her. And it's all fine and dandy and stuff. You know what I mean? If you're truly sorry, we're a nation of forgiveness, right? We're a nation of second chances. And we always have to remember that. The only problem personally that we have with this is when it's like, take an Al Franken. An Al Franken, we're supposed to forgive him, but a conservative, we don't forgive. So we have to remember, we are a nation of second chances. We are a nation of forgiveness. So everybody has the chance to evolve. Everybody has the chance to be woke. If you were something like that 10, 15 years ago, there could be a lot of reasons. It could be the product of your environment. It could be the product of your upbringing. There could be a lot of reasons. But the main thing is, as you grew older and as you evolved, you started letting go of these racist inclinations or whatever it is, whatever your issue is. And we need to remember that because we are a nation of forgiveness, okay? And please always remember that before you round up the pitchforks and go after somebody because something they did 3 years ago. Please think, what were you doing 3 years ago, right? And in that vein, let's go to one of the most violent people on the world about mistakes, okay? Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, great man, very great man. And people my age grew up with Bruce Lee. He was our rock. He was our, he was our rock. He was our action star. He was our Arnold and stuff like that, but he was incredible. And let's talk about what he says. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them. And that's the big thing with Elon today, right? He admitted he made a mistake. He did. He made a mistake. That was really a bad conference call. But he admitted it. And it's just like the girl that was hired by the New York Times. She came out and released a piece and she said, look, this is what I was facing. And she screenshot some text that she got where they were calling her all these. I'm not even going to repeat the just so sad that people would say things like that, especially in a public forum. And you can kind of understand where she was coming from. But since then, all her articles, they lean left and stuff like that, and if you're going to hold that against her, you've got bigger issues than she does. But it's important to remember that, yes, she admitted to her mistake. She explained what she was thinking, and she hasn't been doing that. So look, mistakes are always forgivable. So let's be good Americans and let's open our hearts and let's remember we're a country of second chances. We're a country of forgiveness. Okay. All right. So let's kind of close the show on that. Let me go through the comments here because it seems like we had a few comments here. Let's see. Yeah, the QQQ trade, man. That thing was upside down, Savar. You're not kidding. It got hairy for a little while, didn't it? I could feel you guys coming through the trade station. And you didn't look at shop. It was up about $6-7 today. Like we said, good job. As long as we know we're rookies, we won't blow our accounts, Marco. Yeah, it's always good. Even with us, we always pull ourselves in check. And this is a really good comment about not to be overconfident. Even for us as a trade team, it's easy to get caught up in yourself. It's easy to start believing that you're God's gift to the trading world and all that stuff. But we always keep ourselves in check because you're just one trade away from being out of the market, right? You're one Trump tweet away from being out of the market. So always, and you guys see that too. We always try to remain really humble. And Marco, there was a company, and I remember it back in 2007, and they hit that $1 trillion there. I believe they were on the China, if not the AS50, it was one of the Chinese exchanges. And they actually went to $1 trillion, and then the oil crush happened, and it just destroyed that company. But for a minute, they were the number one. They were that $1 trillion valuation. Can you imagine being a CEO and looking at your quarterly report and you're worth $1 trillion? Wow. Let's see what else we got here. And Jesse, welcome, Jesse. And then one last thing, let me just communicate it to you guys over this, because actually the two guys that are still in it, the Huntington Bank trade, we're looking at an exit now, right? Because if you guys are watching the Huntington Bank trade today, guess what? That thing had a really nice day, and it's right on the cusp. So let's Jesse and Marco, I think, and myself, my personal account. I was so busy with everything else, I didn't get my personal account out of that trade. So we'll all get out together, okay? And then what do you got here, Savar, about forgiveness? Yeah. Good statement again, Savar. Thank you. About forgiveness, social media are great and can bring people together. You bet. But there seems to be a current trade to lecture that, it's the holier than thou attitude. It's like we have to just destroy people for every mistake we made. And really please, we need to stop that. We need to stop that. People make mistakes. It doesn't mean they're Hitler. People love that, calling people Hitler now. And you know what's funny about that? You older people, I'm going to close the show on this one because you guys will enjoy this, but I'm old enough to remember Hogan's Heroes. And if you're not, go watch an episode of Hogan's Heroes, and then you'll understand why us old guys are laughing at all this Hitler BS and all that stuff, okay? The Nazis, they're all Nazis, right? Jesus Christ. Anyway, so look, it was a great day trading today. It was a lot of fun with you guys. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not even close to the end of a bull market, brother. We're not even close to the end of a bull market. And we'll let you know when we are. We actually are better at playing the down than we are at playing the up. So when we start getting that downtrend, especially like it was in 2000, 2001, man, we'll make some hand over fist money on that, because it's going to be easy. It's shooting fish in a barrel, because very few people know how to trade a market down. It's just like the Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin real quick. In fact, I'm going to pull up a quote let me get a Bitcoin quote before I start running my mouth here. I might be wrong. Yeah, see, it's at 75.69 right now. But you see, it's just like the Bitcoin thing that we tell you. Remember, Jesse, we were talking about with Bitcoin, that's what a true bubble is, right? It went up to 20,000 and all these people are sucked into it, right? And it starts to deflate, right? It started going down. Maybe it went down to what I think it was like 15, 16, and everybody was just freaking out. And then it started to inflate again, right? I think it went up to about 17.5, something like that. And it sucks in all this new money. And then it deflates again. And then it gets down to 10,000 and everybody's freaking out again. But guess what? It pops up and it goes to 11, 12,000 and it sucks in all this new money. And then guess what? It does it again, right? And it just did it again, right? It went down to that, what was it, 6,000 a few weeks ago. And it started running up over 8,000. All you saw all of a sudden again, even on StockTwits, the message board and stuff, for about 2 weeks, nobody was talking about Bitcoin. All of a sudden, everybody's screaming buy Bitcoin. Well, guess what? It just lost another $1,000. So again, inflates, sucks all that money out, reinflates, funds up again, sucks all that money out. It just keeps doing it down. That's the same thing that happens when a bear market's in. And a bear market, the worst nightmare for market traders is when it just goes sideways. But a good bear market will give you a 20, 30% move down. And what will happen is it's the opposite of buy the dip, right? Right now, just like what we did with these Qs this week, right? We got a dip, we bought it, we cashed it out a couple of days later, right? It's the opposite with a bear market. What you do is just like with the Bitcoin, right? When it inflates, right? You short it and then it deflates and then it inflates, you short it again. And there's certain plays that if you catch it at the beginning, you make a big long play here, and the whole time you're cashing in these little plays, and this big play is just scooping it up. It's an amazing thing. We did it with the Brexit. We did it with the Trump election. We've done it quite a few times. If you guys talk to Samuel about it, all you guys on I Love Investing page, you guys message Samuel about it. He'll tell you all about that. Yeah, buy the FT versus be the FB. I like that. You're just full of good stuff today, Savar. But anyways, let's call it a day. Like we said, no, this is not the end of the bull market. Actually, there's still more run to go. GDP is still going well. The economic growth is still well. Commodities aren't participating. In the last couple of weeks, you've seen a big pull down and a drawback in oil. And right before that, gold started that drawback, right? We even had a hedge in there that we ended up cashing out for washing out for worthless because it just never materialized. But we're actually looking for a technical move on gold right now. The technical move should have came at about 1220, not time, but 1220. And right now, we're looking at it earlier. Yeah, see, it's at 1215 right now. So now it looks like the next potential support or bounce will come at 1200 on spot gold. So we're keeping an eye out on it because it's been depressed for so long that usually when you get if you get a little technical bounce, even if it's a dead cat bounce, you get some good percentage out of it. And if you can time it right, you can make some good money on it. I don't know if the gold market's in a bear market. It might be. Maybe not technically on the charts, but just the sentiment and stuff. People are kind of giving up on gold. And Bitcoin's part to blame for that. And oil had a good day today. It was up about $1.30 a barrel, but it's still under that $70 a barrel. So, but we're keeping an eye on oil. You know us, we love trading commodities. We love trading OIH, GLD, and things like that. And we'll keep an eye on it for you. But right now, we got some great plays going on. We hope all you viewers that aren't part of the service have some great plays going on. If you're not, come on over and join us. But other than that, you guys have a great afternoon. Enjoy some football. Rest on your laurels. Enjoy some wins. It was a great market day. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow, okay? We'll be back for Friday. So have a great afternoon.